only the word the king is used for him. So one of my dear students and colleagues, Sharif Randawa, who wrote the book along with me and actually did a lot of the heavy lifting for the writing of the book, Divine Speech, who's one of his areas of expertise is actually biblical traditions and Jewish studies and scholarship, Jewish scholarship and things like that. He wrote about this some time ago, and I posed the question to our Quran study group because I wanted to go back. Our Mufassirun have talked about this subject too, but I wanted to look at it from a Western academic point of view. And he wrote about this back in 2015. And I think that his piece on the Exodus in the Quran, the Bible, and history, one of the parts he wrote is the king versus the pharaoh, which is exactly what I'm talking about here. Why is the Quran calling him the king? So he wrote a little article on it, and I'm going to quickly read that off to you because I think it's important. And it's one of the things we'll appreciate about the Quran. So in English, pharaoh is used as a generic term for any king or queen of ancient Egypt without distinguishing between different periods or dynasties. This is how the term is used in the Bible as well. In the stories of Abraham and Joseph, which are almost universally located in the Middle Kingdom period, that is 2055 to 1650 BCE, the ruler of Egypt is called Pharaoh over 90 times. Likewise, in the story of Moses, which is almost universally located in the New Kingdom period, 1550 to 1069 BCE, the Egyptian ruler is called Pharaoh 128 times. The term king of Egypt is also used in both the stories of Joseph, Yusuf alayhi salam, in Exodus, and Moses. Therefore, in the Bible, the term Pharaoh and king of Egypt are both used for both time periods without distinction. So whether it's the New Kingdom or it's the Middle Kingdom, you see Pharaoh or you see king of Egypt, both of them, right? The Quran is therefore peculiar in that it does not follow the biblical pattern. It uses both terms, Pharaoh and king, but without mixing between them. In the story of Joseph, the Quran consistently refers to the Egyptian ruler as Al-Malik, which we just read today the first time, Al-Malik, the king, yeah? And never as Fir'aun, Pharaoh. So, and that happens a couple of times in this surah in ayah 43, which we're reading now, in 50, 54, 72, and 76, over and over again. So there's 5 references here, each time never Fir'aun, always king. Further, on the other hand, in the various retellings of the story of Moses in the Quran, the Egyptian ruler is consistently referred to as Fir'aun over 70 times, never as Al-Malik, never as the king, always as Fir'aun. So there is a clear distinction. What is surprising about the Quran's usage is that it accords precisely with the way the term Pharaoh was historically used in ancient Egyptian history. Now this is important. Let's pause here for a second. He's no longer talking about biblical history or history as recorded by the Jewish and Christian tradition. He's talking about history as recorded by the ancient Egyptians themselves. Okay, so there's now a difference. Now, the term comes from the Egyptian Bar'a, meaning great house. So Fir'aun originally means great house. This is important now. Fir'aun originally was not a word for a person, it was a word for big house or great house. Okay, obviously the palace is what it refers to. Prior to the New Kingdom period, the term was used to refer to the royal palaces as a whole. So again, Fir'aun was not used for people, it was used for the palaces. And specifically the 18th dynasty, 16th to 14th centuries BCE, that the term came especially to designate for the Egyptian ruler. So in the New Kingdom, not the Middle Kingdom, the New Kingdom, the word Fir'aun started getting used not just for the royal palaces, but also for the kings themselves. They started getting, but before then, they were never called Fir'aun. Okay? As we saw in part 6, this is exactly the same time the Exodus is dated. The Quran's selective usage of the term Pharaoh and king is therefore striking in its precision. The Quran could employ any of the possibilities. Number one, could have used both terms for both time periods, just as the Bible does, and even in modern English without any distinction. Number two, it could have exclusively used the term Pharaoh for both time periods. Number three, it could have exclusively used the term king for both time periods. Number four, it could have used the term Pharaoh for the period of Joseph and king for the period of Moses.